Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Ace Gonzo, and today actually I wanted to bring you guys in with me and have my perspective on how I see a new player's account. I wanted to guide you guys into um, where where it is now and what steps I'm going to be taking into making this something that I would enjoy playing on a day-to-day basis, right? Because that's what Plarium wants us to do, is play it on day-to-day basis. And yeah, that's basically what we're going to be doing today. And so this may be a longer video than 30 minutes. Unfortunately, I am going to kind of go through everything just kind of on a step by step, but hopefully the process gets through for you guys and how I plan on taking on this account and making it into a actual playable account. As of right now, for this account, from what I understand, it's just basically leveling up champions and just getting it to level 50. Like, it's not really an account that has progressed in any way in the game, as far as I know. So we're gonna check it out real quick, and we're gonna see, how many days in it is, how far in is it in dungeons, is it doing any progress in arena, what champions it has, and kind of gauging it from there. So, without further ado, let's do it. Alright, so first off, level 46 account, not bad. We are not far from the goal, right? We're trying to get it to level 50. This account has been logging in, I should say, because I can't really say playing, for just a little bit over 30 days. I do know of some people that actually have finished the 50-day challenge within 50 days. Sorry, within 30 days. Which is actually pretty amazing to get to level 50 that quickly. And let's see. So a little bit over 30 days, we do have a shard that we are going to go ahead and pull here in a second. But it looks like we've been pulling along the way, because I only noticed one shard. Somebody likes to pull champions, right? I mean, we all do, right? So why not? So I guess that's kind of like the first thing, right, that we do when we first start playing the game, is we pull some shards and we start getting in on campaign. So that's kind of where I'm going to start off here. Looks like we did start purchasing some of these guys, which obviously good investment in the long run. You don't want to get kind of stuck here where you can't buy those ancient shards first of the month. By the way, if you guys didn't know, disclaimer here. There is sacred shard. Wow. I wish there were sacred shards. There's ancient shards, roughly about 5 that pop up in the market that you can purchase. I wouldn't say free, right? But basically, you can purchase for silver, and as long as you have enough silver, you shouldn't have any issues. But yeah, typically first 5 in the month. Usually the first week is kind of, if you're there consistently, you'll get them pretty quickly. Refresh that thing every hour, right? I believe that's what it is. Yeah, every hour. So just make sure you check it. That's it. It's a free refresh, not a problem. Unfortunately, it looks like we don't have the mine. Not a big deal, but this does pay you back. I know 500 gems is a lot, but it does pay you back, especially the quicker you unlock this and get it to level 3, the quicker you'll be getting your gems back a lot quicker. So unfortunate, we don't have the gems, so I'm wondering kind of where did he spend those gems already. I'm pretty sure we already know the answer to that. And okay, not there, not there, not there. Huh, interesting. Typically, and this is kind of recommended for a lot of players, the first 800 gems that you guys get, definitely recommend buying these masteries. It just hit that button there, you get all these scrolls. Try not to do it after you've already started. You've already invested your energy into starting to master them. But I mean, if it's kind of you need to get those masteries, because they do make a difference, right? We saw the video last time where the Wukong that I built was unmastered and mastered, right? That's kind of the idea, is we want to get those masteries as soon as possible. And if running them through Minnow takes that long that you have to use them, then So be it. I'm not gonna dog you on it. I'm sure a lot of people won't either, but that's there. So yeah, that's basically it. Let's see the champions now that we're here. Looks like our starter champion was KO, which is really great. I know there's obviously the 4 starter champions. KO does really good in dungeons, and he does really well in arena. He's not one of the hardest hitting champions in arena, but he still hits pretty decent as long as you build him correctly, right? So he's preferred to be the starter champ only because he can get you through Dragon, which is one of the most important dungeons starting early on, and that's basically because of his poisons, right? Now, if you had chosen any of the other champions, it's okay. Don't worry. There are champions in the game that can get you poisons and get you through the content itself, so you don't stress, right? Aethel is a very good nuker in arena, and so is Elhain. Galek is mainly used for... Shoot, what is he mainly used for? I guess I want to say Elhain would probably be better used in dungeons for wave clearing, but not necessarily bosses themselves, because when you're doing wave clearing, you're doing AoE attacks or area of effect attacks, so AoE damage, and when you're doing a boss, it's basically single target hits. You're basically trying to take them down as quickly as possible or do as much of the debuffing as quickly as possible. That's basically it. That's how you clear the dungeons and how you learn how to play in campaign, is your wave clearing and your boss beating. And that's just how it goes. I want to say it goes throughout the entire game, because you do campaign and it's wave, 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 and at the bottom you go boss, right? And then during dungeons, except for Spider, you do wave, wave, and then boss. So, and that just goes by level. And then when you go to Doom Tower, it's the same thing. Wave, 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 and then a boss, and then wave, 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 and then a boss. But these are basically wave, waves, 3 sets of waves as you clear up in Doom Tower. And then there's a boss stage that has a wave, wave, and then a boss. I know, confusing. I get it. There's a lot, trust me. The next part is obviously Cities of Centranos, where you basically just choose your route, but it's the same thing. Wave, 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 boss. Or wave, 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 and wave, wave, wave. I mean, that's basically it. So we're trying to figure out combinations and stuff like that, right? So Elhain is great for wave clearing, because she does, if you haven't read her kit yet, she does an AoE hit, and I believe Elhain also has an AoE. Actually, all 3 of them have an AoE. Why didn't I say that earlier? Wow. The most effective one is Elhain, just because of how hard she hits. Scratch that. Scratch that, because they all hit pretty good. I know. I'm kind of all over the place right now. I don't think you can go wrong, to be honest. I do still lean towards Kayle, and I'm over here ranting about Kayle now, only because of the poison effect. And the reason why the poison effect is better in the sense that it does more damage early on. The characters are harder to build early on. We're gonna go ahead and just get a glimpse of what I'm talking about here in a minute. Yeah, let's just go ahead and get on with it. Why are we spending this time talking about that when we can just show you, right? So we're gonna go into campaign and figure out what I need to do here. Looks like, first off, we don't have this fully cleared off. So guys, this is an easy, let's go here. Nope, that's not it. I thought this told me the stages. Let's go over here, just out of curiosity, because it does tell you parts, and then no, it tells you steps, and it should. I thought I remember seeing a list. Now, my point is, this is a part of 5 of 5, and I still have about 48 stages here, right? So 48 more stars, not stages, 48 more stars to get in order to finally get this shard here. And it's not showing me, and I could have sworn it told me here. Let's see, what else? There is... So my idea is, I need to build these champions in order for me to finish this. So let's just see what we're missing here. Oh, we're missing a boss stage. Not a problem. Now the only way to do this is to beat the stage and then beat it with nobody, where nobody dies, and then beat it with where nobody dies. So two champs, and then also they haven't told you this part, but you have to beat it within 10 minutes. So that doesn't say it here, but you kind of have to know that at this point. I wonder how this monkey looks as far as gear goes. Looks like he doesn't have any gear. But this Kale should be able to do this. So we're gonna do this. We're gonna do this guy. He has a speed aura here, and as you can see here, it gives you speed in all battles by 19%, which is good. We always want speed. We always want to manipulate that turn meter, and this is all we're going to be doing real quick. There we go, nice and easy. Okay, I don't know why this wasn't done earlier, but there you go. Simple as that. We got 3 stars. Now I'm going to keep doing this throughout the rest of this campaign, and I'm going to push for this progress. I don't see any issue until we get into the brutal stages, and we'll just kind of give an example real quick of this first section here. We're going to see if Kale can do this with Mr. Deacon here as well. We'll kind of have an idea of where he is in terms of gear, and it looks like he can take a hit. He's not dealing a whole lot of damage. So a re-gear is in order for him. He does seem fast. Mr. Deacon here does seem pretty quick, so I don't see an issue with him yet. He has to survive. Oof, that was really close, and we made it. Okay, good. So it's not terrible. It's not terrible. We got it done. I can push for this, and hopefully I'll end up getting this sacred shard as well. So this is kind of where my goal is going to be for the next few days, maybe a few hours. Depends on how much time I actually put into this. I'll definitely get this sacred shard for hard, and brutal I might struggle a little bit. We'll find out. But this is kind of how the first stage of building your champions goes. Is you need to have 2 solid players, and then as long as you have the right gear, you should have no problem progressing there. Simple as that, right? The next stage is, well, what are you missing? Okay, so what I'm missing would probably be masteries. We're a long ways from farming stage 15 here. I recommend 100% that you push Minnow to the highest possible as quickly as possible. Now, I'm not telling you to rush this right away. The most important thing when you start off is basically you have your 2 set champions, like I said earlier, right? And those 2 champions you want to be fully geared, fully mastered, fully 60. I guess I said that backwards. Fully 60 first, and then gear them. I mean, that kind of goes hand in hand. And then fully master them, and then that's going to be the most effectiveness that your champion's going to have. So I would start off with 2 solid champions, and I would make sure that they have your best gear, and then that's where I would go from there. Now, how do I get these champions leveled up? Okay, well, that's pretty easy. Pulling shards is number 1, because you can easily get these uncommons and commons and leveling them up to to 5-star chickens, basically, because the whole point of what I'm trying to say here is we're going to rank this guy up here. So my idea is I need to rank up Deacon, but the only way that I can do that is by having 5 chickens. Now let's just say I don't have actually chickens, right? I can actually use champions as well. I guess I can't use him because he has gear on, and that's fine. And I'm not gonna feed him. don't freak out. But basically, as long as I have a champion that's leveled up to level 5, I can use him as a chicken. And so the idea is that the 2 champions that I am gonna push up to level 60 get fed by champions that I level up, right? So how do I level up these champions? That's the next question. Well, it's easy. Just go to campaign. Without very much gear, high quality gear, anything like that, you can easily farm stage 12-3. You can write that in your notebook. This is basically going to be your staple to leveling up champions for a long time. And I promise you, this is going to be kind of like your bread and butter. And like I said earlier, Kale and Deacon can do this. Once you have enough gear with Kale, he can basically sit here and solo farm this with chickens. These are champions that don't have any gear. You can see that here, no artifacts. Champions that don't have any gear, that'll help boost them up, right? So the idea is that these guys are going to be used as food. I'm just going to run this real quick. May not be super quick, but the idea is that they're going to die off, and your solo champion is going to sit there and kill everybody else until you get done. Now, what happens is the XP is going to be distributed between the champions input in the system. So what I'm saying by input in the system is you have 4 slots. One of them is doing all the work, and the other 3 are dying off, right? So it evenly distributes it, even if your champions die. Now there is if you have 2 champions that are maxed out, only 2 champions are going to receive the XP, and it doesn't overflow. So for instance, if one of them is maxed out, the XP gained from that one champion doesn't go to the other 3. No, it evenly distributes it no matter what. So basically the point is that you have only one champion doing all the work, and it distributes the XP, and it boosts their levels, and you gain XP and you max them out. That's it. That's as simple as I can put it. So luckily we were able to max these out here, and now the idea is that I go into the tavern just like this. I want to rank these guys up just like this, right? I've chose him, and look, now we get to use these guys as food, or like I said earlier, chickens, right? So now he's a 3-star. Look at that. Let's just say I wanted to do more of these. Cool. And one more. Cool. And last but not least, we're going to rank these guys up to a 4-star just because I may or may not use them later on in another part of the game. Faction wars, dungeons, that kind of stuff. I'm going to level up Mother Superior real quick, no problem. And I think that's all I can do for now. But the idea is that I'm going to level her up and maybe use her as a 5-star chicken later on. But for now, being a 4-star is good enough. So that's it for that as far as food leveling up goes, and where my idea is on who I want to build or who I want to invest my time in. It takes a lot of time and energy to farm up these chickens all the way up to level 20, especially if you have a champion that doesn't really farm very fast. There are champs and guides out there for your farmer champion. There's a ton of champions that can do this, I promise you guys, and they can do it relatively fast. So do some research, find out which ones you have and which ones are best suited for you, and get your farming away. Promise you, you'll be stuck there for quite a while, but it's okay, not a problem. We have our first goal. Our first goal is to get these leveled up and get some more shards, right? And just gain the XP while I do it. So that's our first goal. Our second goal is that we want to get our second level 60, which is going to be Deacon. I know I should be doing Monkey as well, but that'll be later on. But for now, I want to make sure that since he's already 60'd, my next focus is going to be on his masteries. And then I want to make sure that Deacon gets to level 60 before I start pushing him to get masteries. Now, I know what you're going to tell me is you're going to tell me that why, if you're going to run a team of 5, because that's what you get for dungeons. I know we just went through campaign and you only had 4 slots. So in dungeons you get 5 slots, so you get a 5th champion to bring in here. So yes, all just like the XP distributed to the 4 champions on the previous one, on this one only one gets the scrolls, and yes, it is random. Now, when that one character maxes out on all their scrolls, they will no longer be the champion that receives those scrolls. So you'll have 5 different champions with a variation of different scrolls, but as soon as that one gets maxed out, it picks the next one, and then it picks the next one, and then it picks the next one, and then it picks the last one. So all 5 of your champions will have scrolls, and if your champion's that good and that well geared, then maybe you can solo the content and only have, so I'm sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. Your goal then would be to reduce it down to a 4-man team with 1 champion being used as the feeder of the scrolls, right? So you have these 4 that can't get those scrolls, and the 5th one that will. And then eventually you'll drop that one, and you'll have 2 empty slots, which is perfectly fine as long as you have 3 champions that can solo it or triple it. I don't know how to say it, because obviously a duel is a duel, right? But we want this team to be able to do it in an efficient way, fast way, just to be able to speed up the process to get it done as quickly as possible. And the more animations, the longer the time is kind of what I'm trying to get at. So don't stress too much, but yes, you will progress, and that's the idea, right? That's the whole point. I know this is kind of taking a little bit longer than what I've wanted, but there is a lot to this game, and just knowing the basics of this game can kind of take you a long way. I know it's right. So there's my next goal is I want to push this up, right? So number 1, go campaign. Number 2, go level 60 and use the campaign goals to push my champions up to level 60 and feed chickens. That's also a goal. Get Minotaur up to level 15 and make sure that I'm starting to push up my scrolls for my champions. And finally, my 2 major areas that I always recommend everybody to do is going to be Dragon and Spider. Now, I would say to push up as far as you can, and I would say just pick a team of 5 champions that are effective, and they don't have to be the best champions in the game. Maybe you get lucky and you get to do this, but as long as you're progressing and you're pushing it and you're leveling up champions and you're getting gear and you're pushing it and you're doing this over and over again, I promise you it'll work. You just have to be consistent with it. And so key stages are going to be stage 6. No, I'm sorry. It'll be stage 5. No, wow, I went backwards. Stage 7. Because that's when you start getting 5-star gear. I believe stage 9. No, I'm sorry. Stage 10, you will no longer get 3-star gear, which that's important. And I believe stage 13, you start getting 6-star gear. and I believe after 10 you will no longer get these mystery shards from the drops. So basically your efforts won't be paid off with something that you can get for free, right? I know. But yeah, eventually you're gonna want to push up to 20, just because you can no longer get 4-star gear, and that's huge for a lot of accounts. I think last time I pulled up a chart and I showed you guys the difference between getting a 4-star gear and a 6-star gear. It makes a big difference, guys. So make sure you're looking out for those key factors there. And Spider, like I said earlier, now Spider is different, and you have to understand Spider to kind of get the concept of how it works and how to do damage. So this one is a little bit trickier for some, and so the stages that you'll reach may be a little bit more limited. Now there's different tactics, and I promise you I'll probably make a video on how to do Spider different ways. I know there's a ton of videos out there, so I definitely recommend to check them all out. Maybe you have some champions that others don't have. That's the whole point, right? And so we're gonna go ahead and progress here and kind of figure out where we want to go from there. So these are the 3 main stages that I'm gonna be looking at. Affinity potions are also a key, but not really a necessity. And that's basically it for now in the stage that I'm at with this game, and from what I can see with the champions that I don't have very many options, but I know that I have stuff to do within these next few weeks. I can push all this up, I can push this up, and I can progress a little bit better and give you guys kind of an updated video later, and to see where this guy's at. I know for a fact that we are not pushing arena at all, and that's okay. Yeah, we're way down there. Okay, so I might get an arena team together as well and start pushing that content. Now, how do I know what to do from here? Or how do I know where to look from here? Well, that's easy. These challenges is going to be number 1. I'm going to go ahead and, as I'm doing the campaign, I'm also going to be looking at these challenges that they give us and try to progress through these guys, because there's free stuff in here as well. I say free, but it's basically challenges for you guys to do. I know I just said challenges again, but they are challenges for you to do, and you end up getting these guys. So definitely something to look for here, and as well as the missions themselves. So I guess my guidance on this, guys, is going to be, make sure you follow the challenges and the missions. I personally have my own goals to shoot for campaign and areas in dungeons, and that's kind of where I'm at with this account. I may build an arena team as well, but for the most part, I'm not gonna worry too much about Clan Boss or Hydra, even though this is unlocked for me, and I can let's just say a fight in a battle. There's no way I'm gonna be able to do what I need to do in Hydra just yet. So I got other areas that I need to focus on, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that. And then of course Doom Tower I may or may not push up, just because I know how hard it is, especially early on, to try to push some of these areas. But I don't see a whole lot of progress, so I'm not gonna worry about it. And same thing goes for Faction Wars. Now Faction Wars doesn't really give you a whole lot of materials, but it does have good resources for foraging, and we'll get into foraging a little bit later. But it's also a great area for you guys to get gear, and that's just the basic breakdown. I think that's it for now. So guys, I know this was a long video. I apologize that it took this long, but I do recommend that you listen to it in its entirety and pick out the keynotes here, and hopefully this helped guide you in a sense. And if there's anything else that I missed, of course, please feel free to hit me up. Let me know down in the comment section below. Hit me up on Twitch. Check out also my boy Carnage over on Twitch as well. But I think that's pretty much it for today, guys. I am going to progress through this account, so if you guys want to see me playing this, hit me up over on Twitch, and I'll catch you guys all on the next one. Much love. Peace.